私がソニックと初めて出会ったのは
My first experience working on a Sonic game was with Sonic 3. Then I worked on Knights, which was a flying game. But after working on a flying game, I really wanted to work on another Sonic game, where the gameplay is much faster and on the ground. Soon after I finished working on Knights, I approached Naka-san with a proposal that we make an RPG-style Sonic game. The idea that I had in mind was to develop a simple RPG Sonic game. I wanted something bigger, on a bigger scale with a heavier emphasis on story, something that we all felt was missing from previous Sonic games. The idea eventually became the game that we now know as Sonic Adventure.
作りましょうという提案したのがソニックアドベンチャーの一番最初の元ですよね。やっぱりソニックが 3D になるとどうなのかと。
When we first set out to develop a Sonic 3D game, when we figured out that we needed to take Sonic to the third dimension, we knew that we had to take Sonic to a whole new level. The first question that popped into everyone's mind was how would Sonic move if he was in 3D? This is the issue that we argued about the most. There was no game like this at the time. What was the best way to show Sonic in 3D? When we built our first test level, we knew we had to test it out, just to make sure our ideas worked. It ended up only lasting about 10 seconds, and we knew we couldn't build a game around this structure. We had to rebuild levels over and over again until we finally had a level length that we were happy with. There was one more issue that we had to tackle, and that was the issue of the camera work. Now, normally in 3D games, the camera follows behind the character, and this is really the most basic style of camera work. But no matter what we tried, we couldn't get the same sensation of speed as the 2D games by doing this. We needed to figure out a different way to convey this sensation of speed. So, after extensive research on the matter, we discovered that the key really was in the camera system. We decided to develop a more dynamic camera system, one that showed Sonic from many angles rather than just from behind, to emphasize the speed at which he moved. We went back and implemented the camera system, and we really discovered that it made all the difference. Figuring out these two things, how to make Sonic move in a 3D environment, and what camera angles to use to emphasize his speed, were our two biggest challenges. We wanted to build something nobody had ever seen before. These challenges were much more difficult than we originally anticipated, but we feel that we accomplished the goals that we set for ourselves.
ホーミングアタックっていうものは
The homing attack was first introduced in the original Sonic Adventure game. In previous 2D Sonic games, players could easily and comfortably bounce off the heads of their enemies, and that really was part of the fun. The question was, how do you do this in 3D? That's when we thought of targeting enemies while in the air. By doing this, players can bounce off one enemy and then target the next, and then the next, and then the next. This really allows players to enjoy the same speedy attacks they had in the 2D Sonic games in a whole new 3D world.
敵の倒し方ができるというアクションを考えました。3D のソニックのアクションを考えるにあたって一番最初にホーミングアタック
In order to take Sonic to the third dimension, we needed several attacks and several ways to emphasize his speed. We had already thought of the homing attack, but we really didn't think this was enough. We needed one more attack, one more idea to really capture the sensation of speed. We gave it much thought, and that's when we thought of the light attack. This attack turned Sonic into a blur, really making it feel like the player is moving at Sonic's speeds. We enjoyed this attack so much that we decided to make it a staple in the Sonic Adventure series, and it made a comeback for Sonic Adventure 2.
考えて、その後ずっとシリーズ通してそのアクションは使ってます。ソニックのゲームはとにかく走って気持ちいいゲームが
Sonic games have always been about running and running fast. But many fans voiced the opinion that they wanted to see shooting elements in a Sonic game. The problem is that Sonic would never use a gun. It's just not in his character. So, in order to live up to those requests, we knew as a team that we needed to do something drastic. The question is, how do you add shooting elements to a Sonic game? We decided to add a whole new character, a robot who specialized in shooting. And that's how Gamma was born. As all Sonic fans know, the primary villain in every previous Sonic game had always been the notorious Dr. Eggman. But we knew that in order to make a bigger game, something with much more impact, I wanted to take advantage of the technological jump that we made going from Genesis to Dreamcast in a Sonic game. I wanted to create an enemy that hadn't been possible until now. I wanted something bigger, something transparent and liquid because the technology now allowed for it. I wanted something that would wow the users. That's when we came up with the idea for Chaos. He was larger than Sonic, and he looked much more powerful than any enemy any Sonic game has ever seen. And that's why we wanted to have him from the very beginning, and we included him in the opening movie sequence. We wanted to make a statement. We wanted to show users from the very beginning of Sonic Adventure that this game was bigger and better. When we first designed Chaos, we presented the drawing to Naka-san, and he liked the idea so much, he approved it on the spot. Including Big the Cat, there were 6 characters in total in Sonic Adventure. And aside from Big, every other character was intense in some way or another. Sonic was all about speed, and Tails was always chasing Dr. Eggman, and Amy was always running away from something or other. But amidst all of them, we thought it would be a good idea to have a character who moved at his own pace, sort of nonchalantly, to change the pace of the game a little. And that's how we thought of Big the Cat. And we figured, since Big was a cat, that, if anything, he should go fishing. As for the Chow, the people who played Knights probably already know this, but for that game, we had developed what we call A-Life, or an artificial life form that lives within the world of the game. We wanted to add this element into an action game. We wanted something different for our new action game. We wanted something that felt alive and would grow with the character. The concept of A-Life was so well taken in Knights that we added it to Sonic Adventure. This not only changed up the style of the gameplay, but it allowed people who weren't necessarily good at action games to be able to play a Sonic game for the first time. As people spent more and more time with the Chow portions of the game, little did they know that they were actually becoming good at the rest of the game, and were soon able to actually play through the action portions as well. We really wanted to introduce Sonic to people who weren't good at action games, and to expand the reach of the game. That's why we included the Chow in the design. We really just wanted to expand the world of Sonic, and to expand the game to people who never had the chance to play a Sonic game before.
A-Life、ソニックの世界ならではの A-Life を誕生させましょうというアイデアが上がっていました。当時ソニックアドベンチャーを作るにあたって
When we first set out to make Sonic Adventure, there had been such a jump in the hardware that we really wanted to make a more realistic world and more realistic environments for the next Sonic game. We really wanted something closer to the world that we were all imagining inside our heads when we set out to make the design. And even though we wanted to create this realistic world, none of us had ever actually seen environments like ruins or jungles. We'd all seen them in movies, but none of us had ever seen them in real life. So, We thought that in order to create a more realistic world for Sonic, the first and foremost step would be to actually see these environments with our own eyes. So, the core members of the Sonic Adventure development team, including myself, decided that we needed to go on a trip to Central and South America. If anything, we knew that there, at those locations, we would find at the very least inspiration to create more realistic environments for our Sonic Adventure game. We visited the jungles, the ruins, temples, and beaches in Cancun, Guatemala, and even Peru. We saw everything with our own eyes, and we ended up taking a lot of pictures as well. But that just wasn't to get a better feel for the environments. It wasn't to take pretty pictures home with us. We actually used these pictures as textures in the game to create more realistic environments. For instance, for the rocks and the jungle walls in some of the levels, those are actually pictures taken on our trip. And we feel that this helped create a certain sense of realism in the game that never existed in any previous Sonic game. The inspiration and the pictures that we took on our trip really helped add to the quality of Sonic Adventure.
実際取材旅行っていうのはもともと私たちが
Now,
作ろうと
the
思ってい
initial
た
purpose of our
ゲー
trip
ムの
was
世界
to see
を
and
表
take
現する
pictures
ため
of
に
environments
そ
in
の
Central
取
and
材に
South
行って
America for Sonic's new
そ
world.
の情報を仕入れ
But,
てきた
as a
わけです
sort of lucky accident, we were able to see something totally new
取材
that
旅
we
行に
added
行
to
って
the
きたお
game.
かげでゲー
While
ム
we
の
were
中
in
でフィードバッ
Peru,
クすることが
in
で
a
きた
little
っていう
village called
新しい
Iizuka,
見
we
方もあ
noticed
り
some
まして
people boarding
それ
on
は
sand dunes.
ペ
We
ル
were
ー
so
に行った
impressed
とい
with
う
this.
街で見た
We had no idea this
サンド
kind
ベ
of
リアっ
sport
ていう
actually existed.
サンドボードスノーボー
It
ドっ
was
ていう
so
のは
new and exciting for us to see
あり
this.
ましたけども
We knew
砂
that
の
we
上
had
で
to
みんな
add
が
this
ボードを
element to our
やって
game.
遊んでるっていう
And we
光景
figured
を
that
その時
Tails, if anyone,
目
was the
撃
most
しまして
appropriate character to use.
こんな遊びも
And
あるん
that's
だ
how we created
ということで
Tails' sandboarding
実際
level in
サ
Sonic
ンド
Adventure.
ボードのステージっていうのはそうやって生まれました99年アメリカで発売されたソニックアドベンチャーなんですけども
Sonic Adventure was released in 1999 in America on the Dreamcast. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was released last year on the GameCube, which marked the first time a Sonic game had been on a non-SEGA home platform. There are many people who played a Sonic game for the first time when they played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on GameCube. But those same people never played the original Sonic Adventure and were curious about the first game in the series. Well, it's now 2003, and it's been a while since the original was released. So, we decided that we should release a director's cut. We wanted to show people the creativity of SEGA by showcasing a classic that we put a lot of effort into making, and that has many great hours of gameplay. We felt that the original Sonic Adventure was the perfect candidate to show the size and quality of every Sonic game. So we wanted to recreate the original Sonic Adventure on GameCube and introduce it to a whole new generation of gamers, with all of the improvements that we were unable to add to the original. And that's really why we decided to release Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. There were really two significant reasons, in addition to the one I just mentioned, as to why we decided to make Sonic Adventure DX. Not only did we want to bring the original Sonic Adventure to a new fan base, we wanted to appeal to the fans who loved the original on the Dreamcast. And in order to accomplish both of these goals, killing two birds with one stone in a sense, we decided to add a whole slew of new features to Sonic Adventure DX. Simply put, we decided to go back and upgrade all of the character models in the game. Not only that, we upgraded the quality of the environments as well. We really wanted this game to graphically shine. We felt that with these new graphical improvements, the game would be closer to what we had originally envisioned. Also, to make things easier for the player, we decided to add a 2D map system. Basically, when the player presses the pause button, a two-dimensional map of the level pops up on screen, and lets the player know where they need to go.
新しいフューチャーを
We also decided to go back and redo the Chow portions of the
ソニ
game.
ックアドベンチャー
We really wanted the Chow to feel more alive and more organic than in the original.
まずソニックたちキャラクターの
Also, for the fans of the original on the Dreamcast, we decided to add what we call mission mode to change the pace of the game. It really does change the way that the game is played. The user finds the missions and has to solve each mission, almost like a treasure hunt. We really wanted this new feature to appeal to the fans of the original on the Dreamcast. And that's why we decided to add 60 missions for players to enjoy. Perhaps some people aren't aware of this, but there actually was an entire line of Sonic games available on Sega's old Game Gear system. And until now, they were only available on the Game Gear, which is why we really wanted to include these on Sonic Adventure DX. We felt that there were many fans of the series who never got a chance to play these games. So, as you play through Sonic Adventure DX, you can unlock these games one by one. The more you play, the more there is to play. We took the original Sonic Adventure, which was huge in its own right, and added the mission mode in all of the Game Gear games. And we believe that with Sonic Adventure DX, we have created a game that has more volume and more fun packed in than almost any other game on the market. We really feel that this game appeals to both new fans of the series and fans of the original. Not only do you get the original Sonic Adventure, you get all new modes and an entire series of games that you can unlock. We truly hope that people who play Sonic Adventure DX will enjoy the game and will enjoy playing through all these new features that we've added.
のゲームボリュームを誇っている